Hi there, my name is Taro Iwamoto. I am a Feldenkrais practitioner. And in today's video, I'm going to share some tips and strategies on how to sit on the floor more comfortably without getting pain. And if you haven't watched my other video called The Benefits of Sitting on the Floor, and you might be interested in watching that one too. I will put a link down below, so check that out, okay? So many people in the past asked me if sitting on a chair is a really bad thing, or they should be maybe sitting on the floor forever, or they should be standing using a standing desk instead of using a chair, or using an exercise ball instead of sitting in a chair. So what do you think? And I know there are many different opinions, and this is only from my experience and my own, I guess, opinion. And so if you ask me what you should be doing, is it better to sit on the floor chair? What? So if you have been following me on my YouTube channel, then you probably know that I am a fan of sitting on the floor for several different reasons. But I'll tell you the biggest reason is that sitting on the floor and gives you a lot more movement options. Okay, and sitting on a chair, you can choose the chair, you can make a few modifications. However, once you sit in a chair, and availability to the movement, it really is much more limited in a chair versus sitting on the floor. So how much more freedom do you have on the floor? And how many different ways that you can sit on the floor? And that is the huge benefits. So let's talk about how to sit more comfortably without getting pain on the floor. So I can just show you how I might be sitting. If I use my laptop and doing some work on the computer, and I don't really try to be in one position. I'm constantly moving. I'm changing the position constantly. So this is what I may look like if I'm working on the computer at home using low desk, something like that. So I may be sitting on the floor and on my heels and doing like this. But if the if the tables are too high for me, and that's not going to be quite comfortable for my shoulders because I have to raise my shoulders. So I try to work with the height a little bit. And how do I do that? I can use a pillow, I can use a cushion, and try to adjust that height. If I only have one table, and then I can't really change the height of the table, then I can change the floor height by adding some, the pillows or something. So you can do that. And how I change my positions. I may be sitting like this way for some time. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to change the angle. You can maybe see better. And another time I may be sitting like this way. And I do squat quite often too. Not for everybody, but if you're comfortable, you can squat. Then you can type to that. I may use a small step stool. I'm no longer sitting on the floor, but it's a different options. Use that. Even here, I may try to change the positions a little bit. Sometimes I kneel down, half kneeling, maybe toe kneeling. I use different ways to. So you can see I'm adapting and I'm changing positions all the time. So this is what I'm talking about, benefits of having more movement options. It really gives you so much more freedom. Whereas if you're sitting in a chair, not as many, right? You can move a little bit, you can shift away, you can do a little bit of things. And that's the reason why in sitting in a chair, and after a while and a period of time, well, no matter how good your posture is, you're still gonna feel strain in somewhere, right? And same thing sitting on the floor. Sitting on the floor by itself is really not that different from sitting in a chair. If you're only choosing to sit in the wrong way without really changing the position, then yeah, you are basically doing the same thing as sitting in a chair because you're not really taking advantage of all the other options that you could use. If you use only one option, then you are going to feel the strain eventually. It could be your neck, shoulders, your back. Okay, so you can change that. And that's it. Ergonomics is really important, something to consider. So you have to be mindful of the height of the table or height of the floor. So that's why you can adapt by changing, using the pillows or cushions or something, or low step stool or something like that. So you can constantly change the position. So I would not trying to set myself up like this way, and then I'm typing like so. Okay, and I'm gonna feel strain in my neck and shoulders right away, and that doesn't really feel good for myself. So of course that I can change that. And for sitting cross-legged like this way, it is everyone's body structure is different. Joint mobility and muscles flexibility is different. So something that you have to also you want to pay attention to is when you're sitting on the floor and where's the pelvis? And this is really important because where the pelvis is going to really affect how the spine is going to respond. So because of maybe you don't have enough mobility in your hip joints and to sit cross-legged, and then you really can't sit right on top of your sit bones, then what's going to happen is you're going to sit backwards like so. Then look what happens to my back. It rounds my back. And it's really hard for me to move forward because of some, I guess, the restriction in my hip joints. So then I may have to change something because then I don't really have an easy movement, accessibility to move forward. I'm here, okay? Then I can see if I do spend some time in here and computer work, reading a book, then I'm probably going to feel some strain in the back or the neck or the shoulders. So that's probably not going to be helpful. So pay attention to that when you're sitting without really making an effort. And are you able to sit right on your sit bones? Or is it really difficult for you to do that? Then you find that your pelvis is kind of rolling backwards. That means that you might want to just add in some padding underneath, and then that will help. Okay, so to raise the floor a little bit, use the pillow, cushion, a towel, or something to make it a little easier. Another comfortable position or favorite position for me is a side sitting. Side sitting, not for everyone, but you may like this position too. So sitting sideways, same thing, pay attention how you sit. Is it really easy and strenuous for you to sit comfortably in the middle, or are you able to move at least into that direction, or you're pretty much stuck in that one direction? Then you may, again, use something underneath your sit bones and make it a little easier, more comfortable for you. Anything else? Let me see. So that's the main thing. So to increase your comfort, sitting on the floor and take a look at the height of the desk. Make sure the desk height is appropriate for your work, say computer work. If it is too high, okay, make an adjustment using some kind of padding underneath your hips. Raise it up a little bit so it's not too high, so you don't have to constantly hold your arms up too high like so, right? And another thing that you want to check and make sure that are you, when you're sitting on the floor, okay, cross-legged, side sitting, or anyway, where's the pelvis? And where are you sitting on your sit bones? Okay, are you able to move freely going 4 directions? If you can, again, consider using some kind of support underneath the hips. That'll make it a little more comfortable. And then, most importantly, the way that you are going to increase the comfort in sitting on the sitting on the floor is take advantage of all the available options that you have on the floor that you would not have if you're sitting in a chair. And that's the biggest advantage. If you don't use that advantage, well, what difference does that really make? Not that much versus sitting in a chair, because then you're really not moving much anyway. So move and use the different options. And so that itself is an exercise maybe for you, and trying to practice and adapt in as many different ways of sitting on the floor. And that's a great exercise and great stretching, mobility exercise for you. And if you have any questions and you'd like to learn how to sit in any specific sitting positions, maybe I can give you some tips, and maybe I can create some videos and some movement lessons around that any specific sitting position to make it easier for you to sit and adapt to that sitting position. So I'll be happy to make the video. So leave your comments in the comment section down below if you have any requests. Okay, and any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.